Ready, bud? All right, I'll call this meeting to order. It's 9:33. Okay, we are meeting in the Village of Oak Lawn Board of Trustees regular room, and it's the regular meeting. This is the auditorium of the village, 9446 South Raymond Avenue. This is meeting 2026-09. It's Tuesday, April 28th, 2026. It is 9:34 a.m. Roll call, please.
Mayor Vorder.
Present.
Trustee Oliniechek. Trustee Mallow.
Here.
Trustee Stalker.
Here.
Trustee Sack.
Here.
Trustee Pembroke.
Here.
We have a quorum. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Veterans may salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we'll move on to public comments. Public comments, Madam Clerk.
Yes. Dr. Rauda.
Morning, Doctor.
Good morning. I don't know if everybody knows me here in the room. I'm the owner of Pediatrics on Demand, Minnie's Walk-In Clinic, and the Skin Revive MD Spa. I've been serving the village of Oak Lawn for the last 20 years. I'm also on staff at Christ Hospital, and also I'm a resident of Oak Lawn. So I do love the village of Oak Lawn, and that's why I came today here for this meeting. So I don't know if some of you might be aware of the case. I had a case that happened in year 2022. I had like a group of people for me, and my HR manager did not do like a proper background check. So we end up like with a group of people like our criminals. And they've been working closely with the police. Now I learned that the police is fully staffed, so I'm thinking this is a good time for us to proceed with my case. So I just learned recently that my case is closed. And the reason why it's closed because the suspect moved out of state. One of the suspects. The others are still on the loose. So I need somebody to help me review my case.
Chief, can you address that, please?
Yes, as the village manager knows, we've met with Dr. Rauda, and we've gone above and beyond. Unfortunately, like many in society today, they want to blame the police for their problems. Unfortunately, Mr. Rauda just runs an inefficient, mismanaged practice. We've had multiple reports from him that started in 2022 with little to no information. Then he comes back 6 months later, gives us something else. It's inaccurate. One of our detectives has been assigned to this case. He's spent numerous man hours on it. There's other allegations at the practice. People that here are claiming that are suspects are actually victims of other crimes. This is really just a mismanaged firm. We've presented all the evidence to the state's attorney at his request. The state's attorney reviewed the case, and as we believed, there's not enough there to charge anybody. The one person that he's referring to that left the country, the state, she did leave, but we followed up with the state's attorney to try and get a warrant, and the state's attorney said there's not enough there for a warrant. Once again, it's starting. I don't know what her title is, filed another report earlier this month. Now there's supposedly someone who's been on the payroll who's not showing up, but really didn't provide us much information. We reviewed the body cam from when she made the complaint. He wants to blame the police, but this is all on him.
No, I'm not gonna blame the police on this, if you allow me. I'm here as a public speaker. I'm talking on behalf of all the businesses of Oak Lawn. The case is not only reviewed by myself. I did an internal review. I hired forensic accounting. I hired forensic computer. I hired private detective, a previous state prosecutor, Mr. Mizell, that met with the village manager. Great guy. He knows what he's doing. I reviewed the police report the chief of police is referring to. And I compared it actually with the same work that the police accidentally, they sent me another police report. The work is not the same. So I'm not blaming nobody. I'm not here to point no finger to nobody. I'm here to raise a concern on behalf of the community and community safety. The professional, the insurance paid the 24,000 already because I have enough documentation to support that. There are more also if I had the cooperation of the police, because some of the witnesses did not cooperate with my private detective. So they would cooperate with them, but not with me. So I'm just seeking support from the board here so my case can move forward.
Well, thank you, Doctor. It sounds like the police department has probably done everything they can to investigate this incident, including taking it to the state's attorney's office, which are the lawyers, which are the chief law enforcement officers of the state. And as a result of that investigation, unfortunately, there isn't much more this village or the police department can do for you in your particular case. Okay?
Chief, can you allow me? Can you allow me?
Dr. Rada, the distinction is they pursue criminal acts. Yours, much of what you talked about and the lawyer you brought in are civil matters or allegations of, you said theft, where we saw reports where the company acknowledged, no, they allowed that person to take products. It becomes a he said, she said. That's the difficulty. The police can only take criminal matters to the state's attorney, and they've declined. I know you're frustrated with that, but there's limitations on what we can do as a village.
Okay. So I'm not an attorney, but I talk to a lot of them. My attorney has emailed the state attorney about this case. What information has been presented to the state attorney or the board review is deficient at best. So we need to present the whole case the way it is. In the police report also, there are some factual material that haven't been mentioned. You have criminals, you have a video surveillance camera.
Doctor, I want to interrupt you. This is public comments. We're not trying your case. You've made your point. I suggest you probably deal with a private attorney and seek restitution or to resolve your case. This board is not here to try the case.
No, we're not asking for trial. I'm increasing the public awareness, and this is the first meeting speaking publicly, and it won't be the last.
Okay, well, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Do we have any other public comments?
No, that was all.
All right, we're going to move on to number 6, and before I read number 6, okay, I want to mention the fact or note that for the record, trustee Tim Desmond has submitted his written resignation. We received that on April 20th, 2026, and is effective of that date. Before we move on with the agenda, does Tom, you want to make any comments?
Yes. Thank you, Mayor. I want to make sure that the public is aware that the reason for the resignation is a very good one. For those who've been attending meetings for the last several months, last year, the state legislature passed a new law that allows municipalities like us to acquire property in the village that are problem properties. Foreclosed properties, properties where people have abandoned them. And I know I can speak for most of the board here because I used to be a trustee. When you have a problem neighbor, there's nothing worse. And I don't mean to exaggerate that. When I was a trustee, it was 90% of the calls we received had to do with problem neighbors. Since becoming village manager, the level of the problem when you get into it is really, really concerning. I think people, if you have good neighbors, you don't know how good you have it until you have a bad neighbor. We've had situations where violence occurred, where people have sold their homes at losses to avoid situations. I mean, the police can speak to this at length. So this program, when introduced last year, was really something that we were interested in. I think at the time, Gary can speak to this, our property maintenance manager. We've been sitting on 10 or 12 properties that are not very marketable, not very attractive, that are a nuisance, that are not paying taxes. They're off the tax roll. They require maintenance by the village, grass cutting and what have you. So this new program was very interesting, and Trustee Tim Desmond, former Trustee Tim Desmond, I knew this personally, but was surprised to hear that he was or is the second largest home builder in Oak Lawn for the last 20 years. Quietly, though, on the side. He was a builder for a lot of years, and then he changed professions. And But, you know, he built more than 20 homes in Oak Lawn, so we asked him, or I did in particular, and the board supported the idea that he look into the, you know, the merits of this program and worked with our attorneys and how we can shape something, because the risk that we face is we're not builders, you know, we're a village. We would have to hire a builder, a general contractor, and in that scenario, a general contractor, you know, our view is we would like to, if possible, make money on these homes, because the end product is a very attractive product. Once this home is built, it comes with 10 years of tax rebates that are pretty significant. So it's a very attractive thing for a new home buyer, you know, attracting young new families. We're hearing all over about the housing shortage. So we saw a possibility here of, A, getting problem properties back on the tax roll, helping the neighbors that live around it. It was a win-win-win across the board, but for the possibility, and all of us here are old enough to live through downturns in the market, and Tim Desmond can speak to it very well, because he had very big developer, much like the developers when the market crashed, significant exposure. So we've talked to a couple of builders, and I'd ask in the board on behalf of the board, if Tim could spearhead the effort for the last 6 months, meaning research it, meet with trade contractors, meet with potential builders, and see if we couldn't put together a program. And the difficulty is when you're dealing with builders, that's what they do. And our hope, our goal was, we want to be a partner in this. We don't want to turn it over to a builder, and I don't mean a disreputable builder, but a builder where you have no control, where they can build a home and tell you, well, you know what, we didn't make any money on that. So we created, because again, we're talking taxpayer dollars here. We've used taxpayer dollars to acquire these properties, to maintain them, to cut the grass. So we put together a program, construct, if you will, where we would work with a general contractor, and there's limitations on what they can make if there is a profit. There is a guaranteed payment of sort on the labor and materials, and we worked back and forth to find a mix that provides the village with some upside, because in a perfect world, we develop 12 properties and we make a certain amount of money at the end, and we keep this program going. But if the market corrects and you have a builder in there and they have all the exposure, you know, that it wasn't very enticing we did talk to 2 or 3 builders, and they said, no, if we want it, you know, if you want us in, we're all in. We're gonna take it all. We wanna be the person. So the further down the path we went, working with our attorneys in how this construct might work, the more pressure I personally started putting on Tim Desmond to maybe take this program. And he obviously couldn't take it because he's a trustee, sitting trustee. And over the last several weeks, the more we talked about it, I was able to convince him, because his term is up in a year, or less than a year. He cannot run again. I made that point to him very clearly, and said, in my strong opinion, I don't know that I'm overstating this, the value that he could provide over the next year in this capacity versus sitting up here, no offense to anybody on the board here, in the next 12 months, I think is really significant. So he has agreed, in principle, and it's on the agenda here, to do this for at least 2 homes. Because he's not committing to long-term, because we don't know if the program's gonna work. And the only way we're gonna find out if it works is if we try it. And that's why we're here. Tim couldn't be here this morning. Again, there was a reason he effectively resigned last week. He was talking with some other subcontractors and builders, and I just simply said to him, hey, you know, if we're gonna do this, can we do it? And he did decide. He submitted his resignation to the mayor, so we could get this on the agenda for today and get this. And the frustrating part was, up until just recently, the weather has been terrific, right? It's just our luck that we had a very mild spring where this could have been up and running months ago, you know? It's just our luck that we didn't have the cold and rainy and snowy March. So there is an eagerness to get this started. We have a couple of properties in mind ready to go. So I just want to make sure that people are aware why Tim is resigning. It's not under duress. It's not any cloud. It's because me in particular, and then the board by extension, effectively asked him to take on this program.
Well explained, Tom. Do we have any comments from the board?
Just one. Tim Desmond was the right man for that job in District 1, and he's the right man for this job, doing the housing improvements, and he'll be sorely missed. That's all.
Well, thank you. Any other comments? Hearing none, we'll move on to the acknowledgement and receipt of his resignation, that of trustee Timothy Desmond, and that was effective April 20th, 2026. We need a motion to accept that, Counselor?
Need a motion to acknowledge receipt of the resignation of trustee Desmond effective April 20th, 2026.
Okay. Second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Mallow.
Yes.
Trustee Stalker.
Yes.
Trustee Sack.
Yes.
Trustee Pembroke.
Yes.
Motion passes. Okay, a conflict of interest disclosure. Any trustee have any problems with anything on this agenda? Hearing none, we'll move on to approval of the regular meeting minutes of 2026-08 dated April 14th, 2026. Motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Trustee Mallow.
Yes.
Trustee Stalker.
Yes.
Trustee Sack.
Yes.
Trustee Pembroke.
Yes.
Motion passes. New business by village trustee. We'll start with you, Paul.
Thank you, Mayor. I just have one item this morning. This is in regards to some of the dates that have been confirmed regarding our Sunday concerts. Sunday, June 14th will be the first concert. Saturday, June 27th, we will have a second concert, and that will follow the parade. The parade will be on June 27th at 10 a.m. Down 95th Street. In July, we'll have two concerts, July 12th and July 26th. And then in August, we'll have two concerts as well, August 16th and August 30th. All those concerts will start at 6 p.m. And then, of course, in September, the second September weekend, September 11th through September 13th, we will have our Fall Music Festival. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. District 4?
Thank you, Mayor. Just one comment. Now that spring is upon us, I've noticed, particularly in the parks and areas, the e-scooters are popping up. A lot of young people on the e-scooters. I'm wondering if it's possible to post on our webpage or something, the ordinance that was passed last year about the e-scooters, and maybe even possibly sending some notice out to the school district superintendents. Maybe they can help us get the word out on the e-scooter ordinance. That's all.
Thank you, trustee. You know, just yesterday, or maybe it was the day before, I almost hit two kids on a scooter crossing 100th and Costner. I had to slam my brakes on. It seems to be an increasing problem, and I'm asking the police department to take a little bit more of effective enforcement. I realize that this is difficult for the police department to do, but it's becoming. I don't want
Yeah,
to.
actually, Mayor, we had a command staff meeting last week. That was one of the topics. We're going to redistribute the one-page flyer to all the schools. We're going to put it on our X page, and then we're also going to, I actually just got a text from my division chief. We're going to try and work up some type of an enforcement plan, but it is tough. I mean, kids riding scooters, it's, you know, do we want to start chasing them? But we'll put an effort into it.
Yeah, the problem is these are being done by 8, 9, 10, 12-year-olds, and they don't have the wherewithal to know that they're crossing a pretty major street without looking both ways. And
They
it's
don't
going to
stop at
happen
stop
if we
signs.
don't, if we can't curtail this, we're going to have a tragedy, and we don't want to see that happen. All right, District
Thank you, Chief.
5,
Nothing at this time, thank you.
District 6.
Just, as usual, just a quick update on the pipe, the Polaris Field Detention Project. Again, everybody in the neighborhood is aware of this, a lot of streets being blocked off during the days, but the excavation of the field area right now is 70% complete, and the under drain for the field is about 50% complete. So the field itself is in process. It's going along well. Everything's on schedule. I attend the bi-weekly meeting along with our assistant village manager, Jerry Dillon, to keep updated on what's going on. The main storm drain that's being installed down Kilpatrick is all the way down to 105th Place right now, and will be going down 105th Street in the near future. So 105th Street's going to kind of turn into Kilpatrick. So it's going to be a long couple months for everybody in that area, but just stay with it. It's going to be a huge benefit, but I just wanted to give a quick update on it. Thank you.
Thank you, trustee. I also understand that the project's ahead of time. We're going to have this thing wrapped up quicker than we thought.
It is ahead of schedule. I don't know if we've got exactly how far, but the weather's been cooperating. We got the early spring, so they've been out there. I was telling you, I walk the neighborhood every day, and I go around Pi once a day, and I mean, the amount of equipment out there and what they're moving and doing, no grass growing under anybody's feet out there. It's full work crews. They know the importance of getting this project done, and so we're doing good. Everything's good. So all positive reports right now.
Thank you, trustee. Okay, number 10 is Resolution 26-09-39. This is a resolution approving the selection of Leaside Builders Incorporated as the general contractor and authorizing execution of the general contractor's agreement. Motion, please.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Trustee Mallow.
Yes.
Trustee Stalker.
Yes.
Trustee Sack.
Yes.
Trustee Pembroke.
Yes.
Motion passes. Village managers report?
Yes, Mayor, I just have one thing. I'm guessing or hopeful that the public is aware of the spate of burglaries, and I'm reluctant to use the term burglary, occurring to businesses all throughout the Southland who have video gaming operations. These burglaries, as they're calling them, because effectively they are being run like military operations. There are groups of bandits driving around, mostly in the early parts of the morning, breaking into these facilities, breaking open the video gaming machines in the ATM terminals, and getting in and out as 5 and 7 minutes, Chief? I mean,
1 minute.
You know,
I have a video where they're in and out in 1 minute before the alarm is even triggered.
yeah. And the reason I bring this up, Chief, just throw me a number the last 6 months, how many you would guess have occurred in the Southland?
We're on several task force. The one that we are with the federal partners, the FBI, they're not providing manpower, but they've kind of put together a virtual command post where we can track data and share suspect information. Just the agencies that partake in the federal dashboard, the last time I checked, which might have been a couple weeks ago, there were 365 just in the agencies that participate with the at the federal level. We also participate with the Cook County Sheriff's Department, and we had a meeting with them about a month ago, and same thing, probably a couple hundred, there was about 50 or 60 agencies there, all reporting multiple burglaries. We just had one this morning. They hit multiple locations. I'm not going to say where the other jurisdiction was. I'm not going to comment in their investigation, but another squad car was actually involved in a crash. One of those offenders was taken into custody, so we were looking at that. But it is very militaristic. I do believe they train on this. The one that occurred in our town this morning, we already have the video. 2 lookouts, 2 guys breaching, 2 guys staying in the cars as the getaway driver, and they're in and out in, as the mayor said, less than a couple minutes. So it's kind of like finding a needle in a haystack. So we're doing the best that we can, but it's tough. We're going to need some help from the business and gaming community, hardening the target, maybe security shutters, nightly pickups from the machine so there's no money in there, cashless transactions. This isn't something that's going to be solved by law enforcement alone.
Yeah, and the reason, and thank you, Chief, the reason I bring that up, it has very much to do with the state of Illinois. This village in 2020 pursued and then eventually passed a push tax ordinance, a penny a push. 1 penny per push is all we were asking for, now going on 6 years. And if anybody plays these video games knows, that wouldn't, in our estimation, be significant. If you push 200 times, it'd be $2 from your gaming. The significance, though, is the scale of this gaming industry. It's millions of dollars that municipalities could have to dedicate toward problems like this. And the owners of the terminals initiated a lawsuit that's ongoing now. The state legislator passed this law for us, supporting us. A couple of the courts have held it as constitutional, and yet they are still dragging their feet because they know every day they don't have to pay us is another day they don't have to pay us. And now we have real dangerous situation. And these pursuits, and I think largely because, I'm going to tie another issue in the Safety Act that allows criminals just to get slapped on the wrist. These are high-speed pursuits. They're flying out, they're flying all over. Someone's going to get killed, whether it be police, whether it be the actual, and God help us if it's just innocent victims, because they know they can flee because it's a burglary, and if they get arrested, chief, tell me I'm wrong, slap on the wrist, in and out.
We've charged 3 offenders in the burglaries related to Chiquina de Mama. Sorry if I'm not saying that right, and the hashtag burglary. As soon as we arrest them, it was cite and release.
Yep. And they're getting millions of dollars. There's significant money in these machines. So they're incented to keep doing this. And something has to change. And one of the things I'd like, and I've reached out to our state representatives and state senators, is this push tax could go a long way to helping us, help our businesses, the chief's point, install these resistant shutters and other measures. The Safety Act, we just had another Chicago police officer killed from a revolving door person who should have been in prison for multiple violent crimes. We have a real problem in this state, in this country, as we know. The divisiveness, the division, but it all begins and ends with safety. And if we don't have safety, we don't have anything. So I just want to bring these things to attention. The Governor Pritzker is now talking about taking more money from the gaming, right? The state does nothing. They have a gaming board that approves licenses and rejects licenses. They don't patrol, they don't protect, and they already get about 30% of the money. We get 5%. We've been stuck on 5% for 20 years. And it's time we change that. It's time the community, the state, and all of us rally together because something has to change, and it has to change at the state level. So that's all I have this morning.
Thank you, Tom. You know, truer words were never spoken at this board meeting than this continuing problem. You know what, I've talked to a couple of the business owners that, not in our community that were hit, but outside our community. I was shocked at the amount of money in one machine box, $4,600. It's very profitable to break into these machines for these guys, and they know it. So we got to find solutions. The police department is doing everything. We're spending taxpayer dollars with our police department and investigating these crimes. And I think those guys that own those machines, they're sitting under 200-foot yachts and could care less.
Yep. One incident, Mayor, recently, $5,000 in just one investigation, right, Chief? More than $5,000? I mean, that's just one, and we heard 300 and 400 of these.
Yeah, that was the hashtag, the original hashtag in the La Cucina de Mama burglary. Our detective put about 100 in addition to the initial response, which was about 9 man-hours, our detective put in about 100 man-hours. It did result in 3 arrests, but that's just one burglary. We've had about a dozen so far this year, and not to add to the hundreds that have occurred just in the south, really in northern Illinois. It's all over, Lake, DuPage.
Thank you, Chief. Tom?
That's it.
All right, we'll move on to the consent agenda. All items on the consent agenda are routine and brought forward at the direction of the Board of Trustees, the village manager, or the village committees, and will be enacted with one motion. If discussion is desired, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. A, request Board of Trustees approval of the St. Catherine of Alexander Carnival to be held Wednesday, June 3rd, 2026 through Sunday, June 7th, 2026, and to waive the resource fees in the amount of $4,243.40. B, request Board of Trustees approval and direction to the Police and Fire Commission to hire one patrol officer from the current eligibility list for the Oak Lawn Police Department. C, request Board of Trustees approval and direction to the Fire and Police Commission to promote one battalion chief, one captain, one lieutenant, and one fire engineer to fill vacancies that resulted from recently announced retirements. D, request the Board of Trustees approval and direction to the Fire and Police Commission to hire one firefighter paramedic from the next eligibility list once it's finalized, and to fill a vacancy created by these promotions. Okay, E, ordinance 26 -09-22, an ordinance amending Title II Boards and Commissions, Chapter 21, Arts and Events Commissions of the Village of Oak Lawn. F, Resolution 26-09-40, a resolution approving the closure of 95th Street, authorizing the submission of a permit request to the Illinois Department of Transportation and accepting certain related liabilities for the 2026 Fourth of July Parade. G, Resolution 26-09-41, a resolution waiving competitive bidding and approving an agreement with AT&T for the lease of firewall and network hardware and related services for the village's IT operation in the form or in the term of 36 months for the total amount not to exceed $68,015.52. And H, Resolution 26-09-42, a resolution approving the appointment of Dan McGrath as a member of the Zoning and Planning Commission for the Village of Oak Lawn. Motion, please.
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the vote.
Trustee Mallow.
Yes.
Trustee Stalker.
Yes.
Trustee Sock.
Yes.
Trustee Pembroke.
Yes.
Motion passes. Village Clerk's report.
We have disbursement resolution number 2026-09D dated April 28th, 2026, in the amount of $3,613,427.36.
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
Roll call.
Trustee Mallow.
Yes.
Trustee Stalker.
Yes.
Trustee Sock.
Yes.
Trustee Pembroke.
Pay the bills. Village President's Report. A, Ordinance 26-09-23, an ordinance decreasing the number of Class LIQ-C liquor licenses by one, and the number of Class LIQ-S-VG liquor licenses by one, and simultaneously authorizing the issuance of a new Class LIQ-C liquor license and a new Class LIQ-S-VG liquor license by the Village of Oak Lawn due to a change in ownership in Zoo's Sports Bar and Grill, doing businesses as Uncle Bud's Bar and Grill at 9708, 9710 South Cicero Avenue, Oak Lawn, Illinois. Motion?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
Roll call.
Trustee Mallow.
Yes.
Trustee Stalker.
Yes.
Trustee Sock.
Yes.
Trustee Pembroke.
Motion
Yes.
passes. I'd just like to make an announcement. You know, with the resignation of trustee Tim Desmond, it is the mayor's responsibility to make an appointment to fill that vacancy within 60 days. So I would like the public to know, if you live in District 1 and may be interested in serving this village as your trustee, please submit your resume to administration's office by May 20th, May 20th. Then I will conduct some interviews. I will make an appointment to the Board of Trustees, and with their consent, we will have a new trustee in your district. So again, if you live in District 1 and would like to serve as trustee for this village board until the next election, I think it's less than a year, Tom? Okay, please consider submitting your resume. And with that, I'll make a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
All in favor? Second.
Second.
Okay, roll call.
Trustee Mallow.
Yes.
Trustee Stalker.
Yes.
Trustee Sock.
Yes.
Trustee Pembroke.
Motion passes. Thanks for coming out.